Welcome back to the Fangirl Fantasy Podcast. I am Julie Russell, and I'm so excited. We have a complete rock star on our episode today, and she also has legitimately the greatest fangirl story ever. Please welcome Livvia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Oh, that was such a great intro.
Oh, was it? I've been practicing all day.
Oh, good. Oh, it's so nice to see you.
I know. I feel like we see each other like once a year, maybe, depending like on how life is going. And so we're up for our 1 year to see each other.
Oh, yeah, it's way overdue. I just need to squeeze you. Virtual hug for now.
I know. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I know we've been trying to do like some kind of fangirl fantasy collaboration for like all summer. And I was just in like personal life turmoil and we all had our own version of turmoil all summer and spring. But things are starting to at least level out a little bit. We're coming to terms. But things
are peaking.
Yeah, everything, it's been quite a lot. But I'm so happy to actually be talking to you. Finally,
I know we just talk back and forth like Instagram stories.
Yes, and we text. I mean, it's just so awesome that we've been able to stay in touch so well, like even on like opposite ends of, the opposite coasts for so long.
I know. So, do you remember how we met?
Yeah. Okay. So I had a radio interview at your station.
Yes.
And then that night we ran into each other at that concert.
Yes.
Right? Or like concert, sort of. Like
club night, DJing. I know. So basically, you came in to do a radio show, like a radio interview, and we were just talking, like me and Eric. We were just having a conversation, and
we
then
bonded right away.
Yes, and then later that, like my friend had texted me, like a mutual like music industry contact. It was like, "Hey, my friend's in town DJing. Like you guys, I really want you to connect. Like you should go. Like you're on the guest list. Like he wants to meet you. Blah blah blah." So I show up and it's your former boyfriend, and we just like look at each other and we're like, huh.
Wasn't that night? It was like the same day.
Yeah, it was the same day.
So funny, because that was the funny part, is that I had business in Boston and he had business in Boston. You can call what we all do business, but we have fun business. But that is so funny. Of course I remember that. I remember bonding right away, and then we had so much fun that night, and we like hung out just like the two of us all night long.
Yeah, it was just so funny.
That story of why you were there. I remembered it was some sort of like, work related something, but that's so funny.
We just, me and him have a mutual friend, and he was like, oh, he's in Boston, like, and he's never in Boston, and I really want you to meet, you two to meet, and that's how it happened. And then I went to LA a few times, and the three of us went and got dinner, and we just really hit it off, and that's how our friendship, it's so crazy though.
And then I went back to Boston and we hung out with JD, and you guys hadn't gotten the puppy yet.
No, you're a big reason why I think we have Oakland.
I know. I remember because you and I were like trying to get him to do it.
I know. And we bombarded the group chat, all of it.
I know. But no, it was just so fun to meet. And like, obviously our fangirlness has been like a big connector this whole time. So I've been just so impressed, and I'm like excited for you with all like the fangirl fantasy events. I've wanted to go to one so badly.
Oh, you need to come to one. When we it's safe to do so, and we make it out to the West Coast, you will have to attend.
I cannot wait. Or maybe I'll be on the East Coast. You never know. Like the stars aligned that random time when I had to be in Boston, he had to be in Boston, we're at the show. It's just like so crazy.
I know. Or I know you're in New York quite a lot here and there, right?
In New York, like every like couple months I was in New York. I almost moved to New York, but
that's what I was I was like, I don't know if that was public knowledge. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, no, I almost did. But I don't, it's just now, who knows?
That was like last August, right? You were thinking about moving to New York because the only reason I remember is because we were both at the Jonas Brothers Madison Square Garden concert.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I remember, and oh gosh, I can't believe it. Was that no, I was in New York after that, I guess. But I think the last time I was in New York was like December. It was like a Christmas show, tree lighting show, which was really cool. And then, I guess the last thing I did before all of this was I was touring with the Jonases in the UK and Europe, literally into February.
You had the last bit of fun before the world got closed.
Can't believe that. And I can't believe Vegas couldn't happen for them. That was such a shame.
I know, that would have been so fun.
But okay, we will be back better than ever.
The Jonas Brothers is your story with them is just top notch. It's unbelievable. I remember when you told me it, like I couldn't believe it because it was like out of a dream. It really is though. And I feel like I would pinch myself if I was you. So tell everybody kind of, I mean, you were front row in the Jonas Brothers world, right? The world tour or Burning Up documentary.
Okay, yeah. Do you know how that came about? Did I ever tell you that backstory or not?
Oh no, go ahead, girl.
Okay, this is so weird. It doesn't make sense. That's the problem is that the story is you're just like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, I'm aware that it doesn't make sense. I can't change the facts, okay? So it's like I was not front row. I was front row in the movie, but the reason why is because I was in like the midsection of like one of their outdoor amphitheater shows with my friend. And this lady came up to us like with like the headset and everything. And she was just like, obviously we're big fans. I don't even need to get into that because you just obviously. So the lady comes up and is just like, will you two come back like tomorrow night and the next night at the Staples Center and be in the movie and like be in the front row and like be like two of the featured like fans. I think that they had planned to do more have more like shots of the front row than they did because you can barely see us. I'm like, you didn't really need us, but thank you. So we ended up, of course, we said yes, and they were like, wear the same thing, like come back, because we were both in like dresses, so we were like dressed up. So I think like, and we were jumping around for the opening act. So like honestly, lesson. Don't shy away from being enthusiastic for the opening act, which now, of course, like I've been their opening act, so it's just insane. But we were like really enthusiastic for the opener, and I think that's what like they were like, oh, we love their energy. So it never doesn't pay off, or it will never hurt you to give the opening act a little love.
Never.
I got good karma there. But so yeah, they brought us back. We didn't meet the boys or anything. We did meet Big Rob that day, which was crazy. He like came by and high-fived us when we were like waiting. It was insane. So yeah, we got to see the show twice, like 2 nights in a row, come back. And then the really insane thing is that by the time that movie premiered, I had become friends with them and their family for totally different reasons. So girls that I met in the crowd there at the premiere, which they had invited me to, I'm walking in and the girl that I met in the audience was like, what are you doing here? And I was just like, oh, this is a really long story.
Why are you not behind the barricade? Why aren't you behind the barricade with us anymore? Like, how did the flip switch? Like, no.
I don't know. And I know this is not making sense. It's not very linear because like the stories overlap. But the other thing is like maybe it was like the Teen Choice Awards or like something. I think it was the Teen Choice Awards. I was at like some restaurant with my 2 friends, my friend and her little sister. And the Jonases like walked in. And there were a lot of people that had been at the Teen Choice Awards or like kids, fans in the restaurant. They walked in and sat down at our table, like right next to us, behind this kind of like wall, like half wall. And my friends were like, we have to go say hi. And I was like, we can't bother them, you guys, we can't. Like they're sitting there having their, their dinner or whatever. And so my friends were really mad at me because I like did not, I was like, we can't do it. I was very like, I don't know, I just didn't want to bother them. So a lot of people were coming up, like they were kind of getting turned away. And by the end of the night, there wasn't Big. I think it might have been Big Rob, to be honest with you. There was a couple bodyguards there, but he was like, "Do you guys want? You guys have been so respectful because they knew we were right next to them." And
yeah,
don't look. Oh my gosh,
But your face is 50 Shades of Red. You guys are blushing. You could
totally. And so he was like, "Do you want to meet them?" I don't have a picture from that night because then when they asked, we had met them when we were like, meeting, hugging, like saying hi, congratulations, they'd won, I'm sure, whatever awards they had won that night. And they were like, do you want a picture? And I remember being like, no, we don't want to trouble you for that. We just wanted to say hello.
And your friends have never forgave you since.
They were actually grateful to me in the end because because I think we were allowed to meet them because we hadn't.
You've been so respectful. Yeah.
So they were glad that I had I do have that video, which you may have seen. I probably sent it to you when I found it because it's so funny. And I posted it last year before I opened for them again, which was like that night we came home, we like recorded a video of us like, pushing me away. It was so embarrassing, but it's great. But so you know what I mean. But so then we kind of just like all became like our we just like hit it off with like my mom was there, like their parents, and we were friendly. I promise the story's coming to an end soon, but it's like so convoluted. But the other thing is like regarding to us working together or me being a musician, you might remember this about we had been friends for like, I don't know, a few months, maybe close to a year. I don't know. And we would like intermittently run into each other around town and stuff, but I ran into them at a recording studio once. And and they were like, what are you even doing here? And I was like, well, I'm actually, musician. I'm like pursuing a music career, kind of long story. I didn't want to go up to them at the restaurant. I didn't want to impose and be like, I am a singer, like listen to my music. I just like felt really embarrassed, like uncomfortable. Not embarrassed. I just didn't want to disturb that. I didn't want to like I just wanted to keep our friendship. I didn't want to be like, it seemed like I was asking for any help or anything. I just appreciated them as like friends, So, and of course, one of my goals was always to work with them, but I like wanted it to come about in a natural way. So when we ran into each other, they like told their parents about it, and their dad was their manager and all of that. So he was like, I didn't know this, like send me some music. So I sent him some music, and then he came to hear me at a rehearsal that I was putting together. Like obviously I had no shows. I was just like rehearsing with a band to kind of just try to like translate my songs to live in case, to prepare for that when the time would eventually come. And he was just like, this can work so well with the Jonas like audience, like all this stuff. So he started managing me not long after that. And we've been working together. I mean, he's like my dad. I mean, he's one of my favorite people and just like an amazing person and mentor and just like awesome person. And so I'm trying to think.
How did you get though from point being front row to becoming like your family? You're close to them. Your mom is close to them. How did you go from point A to point B?
Look, I know that's so weird. It's like literally we met. We like fate or whatever it may be, like kept kind of pushing that connection. And
it's like, please be friends. Please be friends.
It was so odd. And then, and so then when we did finally meet, because we didn't meet the time when I was like in the movie, like that was also just so weird and awesome. But when we did meet, it was just like, we just kind of connected, and they like moved back to like our neighborhood. And so we were like neighbors. But we had been friends like already. It was like I don't know. It's just like one of those things where it was just like we had connected because we didn't even like stay in touch after that. I'm honestly trying to remember. It was just like they moved back in the neighborhood. We kept seeing each other around, and then we just got close. And I think it just happened like that. And I think like it's obviously like progressed as I started working with their dad, and he's become like, he always says like, oh, she's my daughter of the heart, him and are like the cutest people ever. And so it was it just has started to progress from there. And I don't know. It's one of those things, like I said, I know the story doesn't make so much sense, but it just kind of like fell
it just happened
into place. And then I obviously I worked with Nick in the studio at a certain point. We released that song Parachute together. I toured with them. I was their opening act right before they broke up, which is the worst thing ever, obviously. And then now that they're back together, I was really so honored to be involved in the Happiness Begins tour. And they're just they're just good people.
Mm-hmm.
And that was why I was a fan of them. Theirs in the beginning, like, of course they have like amazing music. I've like honestly never really been a part of like a fandom in the same way as I have with the Jonas Brothers. Like that's why touring with them is my favorite thing, because it's like I feel like I'm friends with the audience. Like I just feel like we're like of the same. Like I'm right there with you.
You get it. You understand why everyone's shrieking. You also know every single word. I think that's the great part too. Is like when the shows that I wasn't at, but you were at, and like I'm listening to like your Instagram stories. I'm like, she sounds just like me screaming for Nick and Joe.
I know, right? Well, it's so funny because I kept wanting to hear "Inseparable" for the fan request.
Yes.
And one night they did that thing where they're like, "Oh, Inseparable, that's a good one." And I remember, because they see signs and they didn't play it, but they're like, "Oh yeah, this song, that song." And I think it was Joe. It was like "Inseparable," yeah. And I just remember because I'm in like the family like part. It's like everyone's just not freaking out, and I just go, "Inseparable!"
Just do it, please. Just do it for me. I'm right here.
No, I was just like, I couldn't even like hold. I just like couldn't hold it. I was just like, relax. Okay, just. But I'm just dancing like a lunatic. And it's really fun because every once in a while, like at the shows, like you will have like people will start to like in like the family section or whatever, like we'll start to like really get into it. Most of the time I'm just kind of like
pretending.
I got it with the fans and I'm like, I'm right there with you. But yeah, and then like even on Twitter, like the fandoms on like, I mean, you know, like stan Twitter for the Jonases, and I just like get along very, very well. I like have so much fun being in their group chats and stuff. And like, it's just, like I said, they're very, very, very welcoming to me, which I really appreciate because it's just like, it's like one of us, you know?
Yeah. You're an insider.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. What's your favorite album from the Jonas Brothers?
Okay, I have to say the self-titled album, just because like that's the one that like I totally fell in love with their music on. So I don't know. I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard to say, but that one has to be my favorite.
That's a good one. Think? Yeah, self-titled. A little bit longer too is so good.
There's so many good ones. I love when they play Tonight.
Yes. I love Nick's remake of Tonight from Nick Jonas and the Administration.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's like, I mean, I'm not going to say I like it better than the Jonas Brothers version, but I really enjoyed Nick's version of that. I
really love Joe's song All This Time. I just think
can we do you have any inside scoop? Are we ever gonna get Fast Life Part 2?
I have no inside scoop. All I know is All This Time is like one of the best songs ever.
Fast Life deserved better. It really did. Joe in the Fast Life era deserved way more than what he got.
So I think in general, the solo projects did deserve better. And I think the magic of the three of them is like unbeatable, of course.
Of course.
Like, I'm just going to say it again. All This Time is like the best thing ever. I mean, I just love that song. But Nick's solo, both of the solo, because the Nick Jonas Administration, and you know, they both had two different solo projects. But I just think they're so creative, and they can pull off so many different styles of music that
absolutely
it makes sense for them to like dabble in, or not even dabble, just like dive in rather in all these different, all of the different genres. And
they're so different. Like Joe's music compared to Nick's music, you couldn't even put them in the same pile.
I love DNC. I just think like
same.
You know, Cake by the Ocean also comes across so well live. And then when they do the Jealous duet, it's just
yes.
I mean,
can we go back to Happiness Begins tour, please?
The way that Happiness began and ended with Happiness Begins. But like it literally is like they started with this awesome project that they had, and they broke off into their own thing. But like what they did converged into like this new project, which I just love.
Me too. And they just thrived this past year with, you know, Sucker and then Cool and then just the tour. They just top notch. Did you know, because you joined the end of the Happiness Begins tour, you joined a few different stops, and then you joined for like the international. Mm-hmm. Did you know like on the beginning of the tour you were joining, or did they ask you like in the middle? Like, did they surprise you? How did that work?
Well, I'm trying to remember exactly when I found out about the first like the US dates that I was on. I don't remember when I knew that was happening as far as like, was it before the tour? I remember it was like BB Rexa couldn't do some of the dates for like prior commitments. And for some reason I came to mind, you know? So it was amazing. It was like, you know, it was just so incredible. And I'm just so like honored that they continue to be so supportive of me. Like they all, like I just released this music video and
they all shared it. They all shared it.
They all posted it. I just didn't expect that at all. And I really appreciated that because like they all really like expressed how much that I really loved it. Like when I like sent it to them and stuff, but I did not expect them to share it. I thought that was just really nice. And just like, they're always so supportive. They surprise me always with like how supportive they are because they're just such good people. I was touching on that before. It's like, that's why I was such a big fan of theirs too, was like their music is my favorite, obviously, but also they're such good people. And you can even sense that just from afar, you know, and I like obviously can confirm that that's true. But, what was I saying? Oh, as far as like what I found out about the European UK tour, I remember it was really sweet because like I remember just them saying like, we want to find more like dates for you. And I was kind of like taking out with a grain of salt because I'm just like, that would obviously just be unreal. But even to have like the dates that I did have in the US were like it was amazing to just be even a tiny, tiny, tiny part of it. And it was crazy. But so I remember I did find out about the UK, like Europe part, like fairly last minute. And I kind of was like, I should have taken it seriously when they said they were looking for more dates for me. Cause I was kind of like, no way.
They were just saying it to be nice. And then they actually went through with it. And you're like, shit.
I could have been preparing for this, you know? So that's how tour happens a lot of the time too. And even like a lot of things in music, it's just like, this is happening like next week. And you're like, okay. So
was this tour the biggest arena like crowd that you've played in front of?
I think it's on par with the biggest I had played before. So I had played the O2 Arena in London before.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I had played it with Jessie J. The first time that I toured in the UK. So that was like quite a few years ago. And then we went back. Obviously, I played it with the boys. But the cool thing about that was we played it like the O2 Arena. And you might have seen me like freaking out about like whatever numerology that I don't understand. But it was February 2nd, 2020. So O2, 2020, 20,000 people, O2 Arena. Then my dressing room was 20. And I was like, what are you trying to tell me, universe? You know?
The stars were aligning.
Something was, the stars were aligning, and I don't know what it means, but it was good, whatever it was.
That is awesome. I know. I was so excited for you. And I remember the US dates, I think were in like Texas or something like that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, can you ask them to let you play the Boston show for me?
Really cute. I was getting so many messages from people saying similar things, and that warmed my heart to like no end, because like, I don't know. It's that thing where it's just like Jonas fans are like my favorite fans to like perform for and to just like interact with, just because, like I said, it's like my friends. And so when I would even go, like I came to the Hollywood Bowl show here in LA, and like I actually like met up with, like we found each other in the audience through Twitter, like one of the people I've been talking to in the group chat. And a couple of people like found me as well. And I was just like, it's so nice that it just feels like, oh, it's so great to finally see you in person. It's not even like, oh, nice to meet you. You know, it's like,
I even feel like that there's like friends that I've had, or that, I mean, I've met by now, but in the beginning of like being on Twitter and just like, oh, like I'm going to the Today Show or Good Morning America to go see the Jonas Brothers too. It's like, oh, let's meet up. Like half of my friends are from social media and from being a Jonas Brothers fan or being a fan of like any artist. It's so incredible.
Yeah, it really, really, really is. And I'm just like, you can't underestimate friendships like that. I think
no, never.
You are aware a lot of that kind of thing does get underestimated. And I think it's silly because they're true connections. Especially now, what can we do except for meet people on Twitter?
Seriously, and hopping on a Zoom call or anything like that.
Exactly. Well, there's those fun fan events too that they're doing, like the Jonas fan events. Which
I know those are amazing. I should join one of them or see if they want to do something. I know they're like doing.
They were talking about you.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh yeah, you sent me that. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, because they had asked me to read a question for them, which was about like the song I did with Nick. And then they said you can come in if you want to, and I was like, of course I want to come. So I did some of the trivia.
Oh, did you win?
Did we? No, because I only did like the first half, and then it was gonna like unfortunately I like couldn't stay for all of it, so they had like rounds. But I wasn't even planning on. I just planned on saying hi, but then there was a team, like a Livvengers team, and I was like, I'm gonna join you guys. So we had a good time for like I was there for most of it. But they also did a question. I didn't even know about this one, but they were doing like a Halloween kind of themed one, and they did a question about my video. And they said like everybody got it. They posted like a clip of the video. I saw an Instagram story. They posted like a little clip, and it was really funny. And it happened to be the day that all the boys had posted it.
That's so awesome.
It was just funny.
Your video is awesome. How did you come up with that concept?
You like it?
Yeah, it's so different. It's fun.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's I wrote it, I directed it. I had this idea I'm like very visual as far as like music and when I listen to music or when I'm writing music, I tend to come up with these visuals. They just kind of come to me of like what would be a great music video for this song. And so for this one, it was like a murder mystery kind of style. And the song is like, Who's the Monster Now? But it's like 7 beats. And I pictured like 7 different characters. And you'd see each one come up on the screen and it would be like a murder mystery. And that was kind of like the first visual I had. And so that obviously comes with the playing cards, which is part of the story. But so it's like Clue, Scooby-Doo, and it was so cool to make. So there's like
when you posted like like you wiped out your social and then you posted just the monster, the movie, I'm like, oh shit, she's starring in a movie, because that's what it looked like.
I know,
Like the graphic and the poster for it. I was like, oh shit, and then I was like, oh, it's your new song.
Yes, I know. People are like, is this on Netflix? I was like, yeah.
It did though. It did look like it was like a promo for a Netflix movie.
We made a trailer. Like, I was very extra. It was so funny. And our cast is incredible, which is crazy.
You have her. What she's in?
Skylar Samuels, or Michelle Celine Ang from 13 Reasons Why, or Skylar Samuels from Scream Queens, or
I think from 13 Reasons Why, but she's also in a different show. Brain fart. Anyways,
but she do you remember what she was wearing, or like what she's like in, or I mean what scene she was in? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, not the girl who disappears right away.
No, hold on. I'll find it. But if anyone knows who I'm talking about, we're talking about Livvia's new song Monster. We didn't even shout that out.
Yeah, so it's a song called Monster. I wrote it last year. It's like about those kind of people who try to make it out that you're the bad guy, but really, like, the truth is they're just like spinning their own story, and the truth will come out. Basically, the song is just kind of like, it says who's the monster now, so it's like, okay, we finally see the truth, and I wasn't the problem.
It wasn't me, it was you.
Yeah, and it was just sort of from that kind of idea of, I've had this with friends, I've had it in a relationship too, but it was really like one friendship and then one like relationship where this happened to me in the sense that, like, I know it's very relatable too. It's like they start to try to turn other people against you, and I in both cases, like, kind of, I took the high road, and I was just kind of like, okay, you can say what you want to say. I'm not going to try to turn anybody against you in turn. Like, you can say what you want. If they believe you, that's fine. But the truth eventually will come out. And that's sort of what the song is about. Like, the truth has come out. And it did in real life too. It happened both times. And I think that's one of the things, like, you just take the high road, let things happen, let people say what they want to say, and the truth will be revealed in the end. So I love the message of the song. It's like very cool, and it's very it's empowering for sure, which is like, what I always want my music to be. Mm-hmm. But then the video, I really wanted to do like a fun, like, murder mystery kind of thing that kind of like played on that theme. And it was really fun doing the promo for it, like, of guessing who it is and giving the clues. I really enjoyed putting that together and writing the clues, which were apparently much harder than I meant them to be. But
where did you record this? Like, the video?
Okay, so we filmed it in a house, like a very spooky, like very cool house, like all this.
It looks like a haunted mansion kind of thing.
It's so cool. All this like dark wood, and it was just awesome. It was outside of LA, like about an hour, middle of nowhere. So it was really, really awesome. Oh. I was honestly fangirling at my cast. Like, speaking of fangirling, because
are they all friends? Are they your friends that you got to be involved?
No, I actually hadn't known any of them, but they were friends of my really good friend is my stylist, and Monty Jackson. And so he asked his clients, who are also his friends, and then a couple of them are like friends of his friends, that they would be willing to do this. And everybody got really excited. I made a really fun treatment for it. Just like, basically pictures from Pinterest and stuff, and like a storyline, and just like a cool little like presentation for it. And we ended up making it. It looks better than my treatment, which like never happens. I'm really blown away with how it turned out. But everybody got really excited about the concept. Everybody was really eager to do something, like, after being kind of like cooped up and the film industry is starting to kind of slowly and surely get back. We tested everybody on site. We did it all in one night, which is actually crazy. Like, if you haven't watched it, like, I'm still amazed that it was,
yeah.
Because you could film that whole scripted scene in one night, like, and that's what you normally would do. But we like did that very quickly, and then we did everything else. Like, there was like 2 takes of everything, but somehow, like, it looks amazing. So no, I was totally fangirling. It was Skylar Samuels, who was in Scream Queens, and like 9 Lives, Chloe King. She was in Hannah Montana, way back when. Obviously, we know her. We've seen her in a bunch of things. I was saying Michelle Celine Ang is amazing. She's in 13 Reasons Why. She's from the Bay Area too, where they shot that show. I am too. It's so funny. But Chris Pang, from Crazy Rich Asians, and also recently Palm Springs. Like that was also like, I love that movie. So Lucas Gage from Euphoria. I mean, there's just like the whole everybody.
Yeah, you had a great cast.
They were all, just because I have to dwell on this a little because it's fangirl fantasy. I mean, I was directing them, you know, and I was acting with them, and I don't even really like act usually ever. I mean, it was, I didn't even think about the acting part honestly until it was like the night before, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to act.
Like I put this all out there. It sounded great. It looks great, but I actually have to do it now.
I have to act because I was like, I know I have to direct and like all this stuff. And they were great. We like spoke on the phone ahead of time, and you know, they had great ideas. Like one thing that I did as far as like the directing process with them is because I'm so. And I think also this is another thing as far as like being a fangirl and being like a fan of their work and being so, because as a fangirl, like you are just naturally so respectful of the artist because you appreciate them as they are, and you're not coming at it from I wasn't really coming at it from being like, I'm the director and this is what I say goes.
No.
Yeah, I was coming at it from like, you are the expert in what you do best. And I just want to show you the script ahead of time and be like, no, I said to them ahead of time, if there's anything you want me to change in the script, let me know and I'll put it in, I'll write it in. Like if you want to word things differently, this is the gist. You know, if like the line was, I don't even know, some example is, you know, if the line was something and you want to just say it a little differently that it means the same thing, tell me and I'll like change it because I want it to sound natural. I want it to feel natural. And then when we all got there too, we were all just talking about it. I was just like, when we're running through this, I was like, I just want you to know, like ad lib as much as you want, like fill in the blank space. If you want to say something, if you want to like just keep talking, if you want somebody to cut you off, like whatever you want, like you react how you want and it feels so natural. And we literally had like 3 takes. I think we had like 2 takes of each like setup of each of the scene, and it feels so natural to keep together so well because we just let everybody just brought their what they would naturally do to the table, so it really was so believable. And I really think that's and they appreciated it too. So I think that having that respect for people, you get the best quality out of them too. In my opinion.
Absolutely, definitely. You're a fan of their work, so you want them to do what you know that they can do and not you force it down them and change what they are.
And I was just so, yeah, you're exactly right. And also I was just so honored that they like trusted me to like do my project, that I wanted to make I wanted everybody, not even just the actors, I mean, everybody to be as happy as possible, especially considering it's an all night shoot. We were up all night long. Everybody's not used to that. We've been like home, but everybody was really excited about it. Not just being together, but the concept and having fun. It was like our little mini Halloween. So it was great because I was nervous that it was going to be like a lot for them, but everybody was just so great. It was awesome.
No, and it came out awesome. And you should be really proud of it. I love it.
Yeah, good.
When do we think you can perform it? Like, when are we hoping that concerts are coming back?
I know. Well, so I don't know. This concert, like kind of like in the coronavirus thing is like it's difficult. I've done a few of them. Mm-hmm. I've done like little festivals. I'm doing like the Halloween itself concert, which I don't know if you saw anything about that.
No, I saw you were doing a takeover today, but that's all I saw.
Yeah. So on Halloween itself, at like 2 p.m. Pacific time. So like 5 p.m. for you, I'm doing a concert. It's like a live concert, but just from my house. But it's like full band. It's not acoustic. And it's basically like Halloween themed, but it's just like I'm playing Monster and like a bunch of my other songs.
Oh, that's so fun.
Really fun. So, but it's through a thing called Sessions. So it's sessionslive.com/Livvia. And it'll be really fun because I can also like read comments and stuff during. So it'll be like a little more interactive than usual. But it's so much harder. Like filming makes sense. Like we can get back to like filming the music video and stuff, but like getting everybody in their room for a concert, I don't know how or when we're going to be able to do that.
I know, me either. It's so risky. Who are you, when concerts are safe to go to and people can tour, who are you most excited to see in concert?
I mean, I know I've seen them a bunch, but I want to see the Jonas again. You know what I mean?
Same, I agree, but I just was not expecting that answer.
I mean, they're my favorite favorite shows.
Yeah.
Like, there's no joke. Like, no joke. They're my favorite shows. It's so awesome to be able to like go see it every night when I'm touring with them. And,
I know. I do hope they tour when it's safe to do so, or Vegas comes back or something like that. Is there a tour or show that you skipped or you didn't go to because you were like, I'll just see them the next time it comes around, and now you're kicking yourself in the butt and you're like, why didn't I go to that show? When are shows going to come back?
Totally. I wanted to see Casey Musgraves, and I was very close to doing it, but like I couldn't. I was like, oh, I'm going to be out of town. I was like, well, I could try that. And I was like, no. Yeah, so that definitely happened. And then I'm a huge Coldplay fan as well. So they're like the other answer to the question you previously asked me about who I'm going to see first or who I can't wait to. But I saw them only once live, and it was amazing, but I just wish I had done it more. I wish I had seen them more often.
I've only seen Chris Martin. I've never seen actually Coldplay.
Yeah, they're just amazing. But also Sophie Tucker.
Yeah.
I love, wait, aren't they like, they're not from Boston. Did they go?
They might have went to Berkeley maybe?
No, that's right. They went to Brown.
No, I don't think they're from Boston.
Well, still in your,
I might be wrong, and you could be right.
Area. But I'm such a huge fan of theirs as well. And they were doing their like daily, they still are doing their daily like Instagram lives and on Twitch and stuff. And in the beginning of quarantine, that really like was getting me moving in the beginning of the day and like spirits up. They're just really, really fun. I've seen them once live. I would love to see them again.
I've never seen them. They are fun though. They have a lot of good energy.
I am a huge fan of theirs. I just think that they're it's so fun to just watch them interact.
Yeah, no, they have the great chemistry.
Yeah, they really do. I love them. So I'd love to see them again. They just have a song that came out with Icona Pop.
I don't care.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh God, everyone Victoria Justice used to cover that.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Big Time Rush.
Wow, great segue, because I was just about to ask about them.
Really?
Yes. So you've opened for Big Time Rush. You've opened for the Jonas Brothers. You've opened for Meghan Trainor. Mm-hmm. Who's had like the craziest, like loudest fans out of all of them?
Probably the Jonases and Big Time Rush, just because it's the boy band thing. I mean, not like, boy band. They're boys. They're guys,
yes.
And the girls scream a little bit higher pitch. I think. But I don't know. I think that's probably the case. I had so much fun on the Big Time Rush tour as well, like Big Time Rush and Victoria Justice. And
you're super close with Big Time Rush.
Yes. I was in Carlos's wedding with Alexa, I was one of her bridesmaids.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I met her we met them all. Well, she came on to she was on a lot of the tour dates. She like came to visit a lot of the time, and we really, really hit it off. And then, yeah, we all went on a trip at the end of that tour, and he proposed, and I was one of her bridesmaids, and she's really cute. We just spoke the other day. We try to stay in touch like as much as we can. I mean, they moved, and they're like have 2 kids, and she's like one of my favorite humans ever. I mean, that whole Big Time Rush group is so awesome. She posted about the video too. I was like just blown away by everybody.
Now I'm just thinking about it and putting it together. You went for Big Time Rush, and he's married to Spy Kids, and then you went for Meghan Trainor, and she's married to Spy Kids.
What is that? I don't know. It's like Nick's video about baseball. Yesterday.
Sports, yeah, and it all intermingles.
I think I'm the common thread here.
I literally just put it together right now, and I'm like, oh my God, both of the Spy Kids.
I know. What is that?
I don't know. That's so funny to me, though. That's awesome.
I remember when they got engaged, when Megan started dating him or whatever, and they got married, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so random.
Super random.
Really cute couples.
Yes.
Spy Kids is such a good movie. What
was?
Spy Kids is so
yeah, on repeat as a kid, both of them. The little thumb people really freaked me out though.
So scary. That whole Floop.
Yeah.
I know. Why do I know that?
I don't know. It's just like random facts that are just always stuck in your brain. That I'm like, if you asked me something I learned in class 6 years ago, I would have no idea. But I remember that.
Really scary. It was very scary. I remember seeing it in the movie theater. Like I remember that.
That's so funny.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's just an angel. I mean, And also, like, all the Jonas's wives now, I mean, are such angels as well.
Are you Auntie Livvia?
Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And can you believe it's 3 girls?
I know.
Can you believe it? It's just Valentina's birthday.
I saw that. Yeah, 4.
Ridiculously cute. I can't believe 4. Time flies.
Especially for you, because you're like you're in their life. Like we just watch it via social media.
But even, I mean, you know, so friends watch their friends' lives through social. I'm just watching through social media as well. You know, it's like that's just how it is, especially nowadays.
So true, 100%.
So,
has there been a situation where you were like at an event, a red carpet, or just a concert, and you like fangirled over someone accidentally, like in front of them? Or you really wanted to, and you're talking, you're like, oh my God, blah blah blah's right behind us, like, oh.
I'm trying to think. I remember one time I had to walk on a red carpet, like right after Katy Perry, and she was right. That happened to me on my last. I was just doing a Zoom interview, and it literally, I got 2 calls in that. I was like, I don't know how to stop this.
Whoops.
No. But so Katy Perry was walking on the red carpet, like right in front of me, and I was just like, I can't not look at her. Like I have to just like
It's Katy Perry.
I have to not, like, I'm supposed to look here, but I want to look here. Like, that was really difficult.
Oh, that's so, I know, because I feel like you've done in so many different positions that I'd just be like, I mean, I would never, I don't like fangirl in front of anybody. I'm like super calm, cool, and collected, but like in my head, I'm like, oh shit, oh my God.
I also really care about people's characters. So like, if I see somebody, I'm trying to think of a good example of this, but oftentimes I'm just like, oh, it's you, like your character. It's not.
Yes, 110%.
Like a TV show, you know, especially that happens a lot with TV shows.
I had my friend Sammy on, and we just recorded a podcast, and I've rewatched The Vampire Diaries in quarantine. I've never seen it before, and she's met like the 2. I don't know if you watch. She's met Paul Wesley and Ian Somerhalder. And I'm like, how are they? I was like, I just love them, their characters. And she's like, they're nothing like their characters. And I'm just like, that just like breaks my heart. You know, I'm just like, because that's how you picture them. You just picture these people as, and you're like, oh, you're not. That's not you. You are a grown man with kids, but you're playing a 20-year-old.
So odd how that happens, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of like better examples for you, but in general, like I don't really freak out. I mean, I think I get really attached to characters. So like if I see somebody I know their character, I'm like, oh, it's, you know, you feel like you know them. And then the Jonases I love, but we, you know, we're past that. But then, you know, they post my video and I'm just like, oh my God, they posted.
Yeah, like, you just forget.
Relax. But yeah. I'm more just was like so honored, you know, and then you kind of like step back and you're like, that's so crazy.
Definitely, 110%.
You watch what I made, you know? So
I'm going to hit you with a hard-hitting question.
Okay.
Before, when you were a fan, you were going to the concerts, were you a Nick, Joe, or Kevin girl? And don't say you loved all of them, because I know you favorited one.
I know. Okay, you know what? I don't think I've ever actually like revealed the truth.
This is an exclusive.
Because the truth is, like, they were all amazing, and what makes them so great is how different they are. You know, so yes. I'm gonna make a call and tell you, okay? But I need to just give you the preamble, which is you got to back me up. They're also different, and what makes their group so awesome is like they cover it all, you know. Mm-hmm. But back then, especially being an aspiring musician, I was a Nick girl because. You know what I mean? Could you guess that? Because he was the one who was the more like serious, like I spearhead the songwriting, you know, like I'm sort of producing too and all that. So that was the person I was like, oh, I would love to work with Nick one day in the studio, which insane. And then you did. Happened. But then becoming friends with them, like there's absolutely no way I could ever pick. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was more like I said, like you gave me the framework of like as a fan, who did you gravitate, like who was your favorite? And I think it was that because it was more about like the serious, like more musical side of things. But now being friends, it's just like they're all so that I could never. Yeah,
no, I would never say right now who is your favorite. No, as a fan, 10 years ago when you were going to their shows, you were a Nick girl, and as a fellow Nick girl, I support it. We would have been in the same group together.
I was wondering which one you were.
Yeah, no, I'm Nick. through and through.
Yeah, but that's hard. I mean, even now, like looking back, or even just being a fan currently, because I'm still a fan,
Mm-hmm.
I could never pick. Like, even not being their friend now, I feel like I would not be able to, just because like doing their solo projects and just like, that would just be impossible at this point. But I understand why back then
You were a Nick girl.
But now, of course, there's Frankie. You can't forget. So he's up there as well. It's all of them.
And he's pursuing the music side of things as well.
You know, I still have their turtle. Did you know about that?
I didn't even know they had a turtle.
Okay, so Frankie had a turtle that like Nick gave him his turtle, I think, like long ago, named Shelly. They went on tour. I don't remember which tour, but they were like, "Can you babysit Shelly while we're gone?" And so we were like, "Yeah." We were like neighbors, you know. We have Shelly to this day. Like,
do turtles still live to be like 200 years old? Like, how old is this turtle?
Outlived me. Shelly Jonas. She is, I don't know how old she is. She's a tortoise. Sorry, she's like a land tortoise. She's like this big. She's so cute. She loves music. She's great.
My God, that is amazing. That's so funny. That's a great fun fact.
It is. I know. Jonas Brothers tortoise.
Oh my God. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm so glad we got to catch.
I love how it ended on Shelly.
But thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode of the Fangirl Fantasy Podcast. Please subscribe and like below, and we'll see you next week.